We move away from Parliament and the talk of the 8th Parliament. Let's talk about the election 2020 petition. And a member of the NDC legal team, spokesperson of the team, Dr. Basit Bamba, has expressed discontent about the constitution of the panel of judges sitting on the petition. Dr. Basit, who actually speaks for the legal team of John Mahama, said the panel is not balanced, describing it as unfair. He spoke to me earlier on the AM show this morning following the outcome of day one of the election petition hearing.
Well, to be frank with you, I was extremely disappointed with the composition of the panel. And it is not to take away anything from the integrity and the competence of the judges on the panel. Look, this is a very, very important case. It's a peculiar case. And in the Fourth Republic, I mean, the first time that we had a case like this was in the 2012 petition. Now, when you have a case like this, a case with high political stakes about who has been validly elected as the president of the Republic of Ghana, it's always important, despite whatever power the Chief Justice may have in empaneling a court, to make sure that you have a balanced and a fair panel. I do not consider this panel to be fair and balanced for a number of reasons. Now, first, this panel is a departure from what we had in 2012. In 2012, we had a panel of 9. And if my memory serves me right, the Chief Justice did not sit on the panel. Chief Justice Sofia Akufu did not sit. She was one of the most senior judges on the panel. And then the most junior judges did not sit. Justice Akamba did not sit. Justice Benin did not sit. So when you look at the panel of 2012, the Chief Justice did not sit. The only senior most judges who did not sit in addition to the Chief Justice were essentially Justice Sofia Akufu. But otherwise, it was the most senior justices who were in panel. Now, this panel, you have a panel of 7 instead of 9, and no reason has been given why this time around we have a panel of 7. Now, there is something that lawyers say, it's actually a legal matter. You often say that your law is actually in a very wretched state when a law depends on the discretion of the decision maker, because you don't want things to be based on somebody's discretion. You want some guidance, some rules as to how things should be done. And when you look at global trends, often in matters like this, you have the most senior judges of the court sitting on the matter. It happened during the Brexit and what have you. So I would have preferred that instead of having 6 of the judges being NPP appointed judges and 1 judge being an NDC appointed judge, I would have preferred a balance in the panel. Look, often you hear people say that the composition of a panel doesn't matter. It's about judges have taken the judicial oath to be fair, without fear and favor. But that is something we tell first-year law students. I mean, anybody who has studied law and knows law as a living reality knows that the judge that you appear before, matters. It matters a lot. And we have so many academic studies that show that the kind of the person that you meet, the personality of the judge in terms of his principles, the judicial record, and all that matters. So I was a bit disappointed, and I hope that perhaps the panel that we saw yesterday will not be the same panel that will sit on this matter. Nothing prevents the Chief Justice from using one panel just for the purposes of the application yesterday, and a different panel for the hearing. A balanced and diversified panel in such a matter is extremely important. It adds on to the public acceptability of any decision. It also ensures that whatever strong views that anybody wants to express, those views are expressed in the end. The majority will carry the day if there's any dissent at all. It has a lot of implications. If you have followed proceedings in some counties, you realize that often judges have different approaches. They have different principles. They have the way they approach the law may be different. That is why in the US, you have some judges are appointed by Republicans, some judges are appointed by Democrats, and it becomes actually a tug of war as to who should be approved. When you look at the record of some of our judges, we have a sense of how they vote in some cases. Not that they are doing anything wrong, but that may be in line with their judicial principle and approaches. And what I'm saying is that in a matter like this, with high political stakes, it's important that you have a panel that has a diversity of legal approaches and all that. Some judges never disagree with others when they're on a panel, others do. And this is a case where you need a balanced and a diversified panel. And in my view, the panel that we had is not a balanced and diversified panel.